Previously on Legends of Aelos, we pick back up just as the party is returning to Balin's from their time at the tavern, a fair few stumbling their way into the homestead. Briar is still awake and inquires with the others as to how the evening went, and between the drunken mutterings from some, the heavier coin purse, and the purging of the stomach of a certain dwarf, she is able to determine the night was eventful, to say the least. Whilst the least functional and coherent of the party set off, or are put off, to bed, the remainder clean up the new mess on the floor before retiring themselves. The next morning, the evening prior having been slept away, a renewed party gather in the main room to determine an agenda for the early day, so that they can be prepared to head out on their journey towards Lake Grasp. First and foremost, breakfast. And where better a place than one more visit to Billy Bales to savor his home-cooked breakfast feast one more time before the group departs from Mid-Cove. Welcomed with the usual enthusiasm, Billy produces another spectacular spread of pancakes, bacon, and all the fixings while the party discuss their itinerary. The evening at the bar produced fruitful enough that the group determines, without making themselves too destitute, that they can pay off the loan proper with the civil authorities, leaving the boat financially in the hands of the party and Balin's alone. After finishing their meal and bidding farewell to Bales, Balin and Bolt head with the party towards the general store. Upon arrival at the general store, which also happens to be its insipidly succinct name, Balin and Bolt bid a parting farewell to the group. Their not-so-brief adventures that they've had finally coming to a divergence, for now. With heartfelt gestures, the now two groups separate, Balin taking Bolt off to formally begin his trainings as a fledgling captain, while the five entered the store before them to gather last-minute traveling supplies before heading off to Martel's offices. After purchasing provisions and travel equipment, the group heads over to the town offices and meet with Martel. Collectively, the party is resourceful as well as frugal enough to resupply and manage the 20 gold necessary to pay off the loan, and the sooner the better, in their opinion. Martel finalizes the paperwork, and with the contract with the city offices fulfilled, the party now holds the deed proper to the ship, which Martel sends to Balin via the town's guard, along with warnings of the current state of the waters and trade routes surrounding Mid-Cove. It certainly would put a damper on the training of our fledgling captain, and an experienced one as well, where they find themselves caught up in a maritime scuffle thanks to the tensions mounting between Eswin and Zahab, on top of the ever-present threat of opportunistic pirates. The last of their affairs in town settled, the fated five finally depart Mid-Cove, their first destination, Lowell, a town on the way towards Lake Grasp. There are several days of journey before they reach Lake Grasp, and there could be some work for a fresh group of heroes to perhaps make some coin by completing. The party leaves in the early mid-afternoon, so they will be a bit limited in distance they can travel before dusk, and the party certainly wants to have a few hours of setup before nightfall, considering that they forewent tents so as to afford paying off the loan. Fortunately, the first leg is uneventful, and the party is able to find a good spot to camp at before the first crossroads. Ace and Rowan go hunting to supplement the group's food stocks, while the remainder of the party set up camp. The hunters are successful in their quarry and bag a buck, which Rowan goes about preparing with some herbs gathered by Karun, as Asher sets about processing the hide of the animal. After the party rests for the evening, they set back on the trail, taking the eastern branch towards Lowell and Lake Grasp. On this length of the journey, the group comes across an Etin, heading towards the party on the opposite side of the road. The party recognizes the potential threat it could pose to travelers, but they are willing to give the creature the benefit of the doubt. As they draw closer, they can overhear the two heads arguing between each other about their name, until it notices and approaches them. It initially seems peaceful, simply inquiring as to in what order the five believe the Etin should address itself, a dilemma that one can only assume most Ettins might encounter, considering the intellectual level of the one before them. There's a bit of back and forth in attempts to determine the best way the creature could order its name to create the combined name, but all that falls to the wayside when the creature proposes a competition to determine the name, the side that smashes the most of the party's heads getting to pick it. Needless to say, this doesn't sit well with the adventurers, and combat ensues. It is good that it is the party, rather than common adventurers encountering this beast, and it is more than formidable in a fight, its size and strength permitting it to use its weapons to the absolute fullest. The party lays into the Etten, but it is resilient and doles out as much as it can back to the group, Rowan taking quite the brunt of the onslaught, especially considering him being the first of the party attacked. The creature wears down the group, and as the situation begins to look increasingly dire, Karun reaches out in desperation, and as he contacts the Etten's flesh, the necromantic energies leach from Karun's hand into the Etten, creating a festering wound as Karun recoils back from the spell's discharge. Beaten and weary, Rowan sees this as the now or never opportunity and plunges his weapons into the purple bruised hip of the Etten where Karun had ravaged the beast. The hit is true, and with this final attack the being is felled, its adventurer head-smashing days brought to an end. Battered, beaten, but victorious, the group sees what they can gather from the remains of their foe, some getting more visceral in their search than others. A few things looted for their endeavors, the party continues along their way until dusk begins to fall. They find a spot and set up camp again, though forgo hunting due to their food stocks brimming after last night's hunt and the scavenged meats from the Etten. It isn't long after they settle, though, that a peculiar sight approaches them. A seemingly half-elf gentleman approaches the five, apparently covered in dirt and grime, and obviously lacking in clothing. The group provides coverings and food to the individual as he indulges them in his story of betrayal, downfall, and current pursuit of vengeance. And it is from here we shall continue the story of the Legends of Aelos.
Amisa.
We return to the game as our new companion, Martin Ethu, is about to regale his story of how he came to become in this current state. Is there anything anybody would like to do or flavor as you guys wind down for the night?
Kind of imagine Rowan just kind of trying to cook the meat over a skillet while kind of just like with a side eye on the guy, but still listening to him, but it's still like, this guy's naked, he's not quite sure.
By
not
this
an
point,
everyday.
He takes the buckskin and best he can kind of just wraps it around his delicates.
Well, I'm gonna actually try to like take it back and like start sewing him up some basic armor or basic clothing out of half-cured leather.
Yes, by all means. I spent long enough this way, I can go a few more moments if it's alright with all of you, I suppose.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll get you taken care of.
So, and he kind of sits on the ground, kind of just cross-legged. My story. Where do I begin? And then he stands back up. I was but a humble bard, traveling from town to town. Recently came from Midcove. I don't know if you've ever been. Kind of a lovely city. A little bit dreary, but it's nice. And I was performing there, and to be honest, I made quite a handsome purse there. But in my need to travel elsewhere, I'm on my way to Lake Grasp, and I hired some mercenaries. One of which, the only one that I truly got to know, seemed to be the leader of this group of mercenaries, was KTL. She's a bit of a strong fighter type. She's kind of an interesting look. She's darker complexion. She has kind of a bald head, but just a bit of a knot, a hair knot on her, and I liked her at first. She was kind of a feisty one, to be honest, and, you know, it seemed like a fair bargain that they would escort me and I would make more purse, in Lake Grasp. Unfortunately, en route, I don't know if you saw those cows on the way to this intersection, but yes, that's probably where you might have passed me at some point as I was laying there in my own filth and blood, because they left me for dead and robbed me for everything that I had. So,
I'm gonna look at Asher like, did you see any cows? Like, not say anything, but like, I didn't see any cows. like,
You may not have seen cows, but you definitely did see some pastures on the way, like
Gotcha.
out of town
Okay.
and stuff like that. There's a
Okay.
few.
Okay. All
Just
right.
periodically, can I make some sort of like insight checks?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna lean over to Karan and be like, she sounds like my kind of woman.
It's a 19.
Nudge.
19. Seems like he's being forthright. And so far, everything that he has said, he's been more than open, probably more than a stranger probably should, but you get the impression that he's like, fuck it all! like right now, so.
What is this group? Did they have like a name that they called themselves?
No, they didn't. It seemed like there was her, and then she had her little underlings. They didn't seem to say much, but they definitely answered to her.
Do you know what
They-
their names were or what they looked like? Or...
I called them Boot 1, Boot 2, Boot 3, and Boot 4.
All right, so 4 of them.
So
Did-
5
did you-
with the leader, correct?
Did you
Yes,
say
5
boot?
total. Yes.
So
You
like there are a
understand the
bunch of
expression, yes.
they're like a bunch of shoes. Yes, I've heard
Yes.
this before, and I'm gonna just like look at all the people and be like, eh.
Yeah, some of those weren't big shoes to fill. Rowan's gonna kind of shift a piece of meat to. I think I already gave him a piece of meat when prior to last episode. I'm gonna start kind of handing everybody else dinner. So kind of while he continues to talk.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, try.
I'm actually not that hungry, but I know that I must nourish my body, I suppose, to continue on this journey. How far are we until Lake Grasp? Does anybody know?
From what I understand, we keep heading down this road. There's gonna be another fork. From there, we'll just be a little outways from south from Lake Grasp, if I heard correctly.
Well,
Right,
we're
towards Lowell. Okay.
we're about a day from Lowell. It's weather conditions holding. It should be, since I made this trip, I'm assuming like 2 days from Lowell.
Yeah, probably somewhere around there. Let me actually pull up the map just to be sure. I'll have this up in handy for us. But it sounds about right. Looking at the grid and all that. Yeah.
No.
Where you guys are currently?
Margin,
Yeah, just about 2 days from where you guys are.
Any reason why they left you the way
Well,
you are now?
seems they wanted what I had, and they took it. I did have quite a heavy purse, and I tell you what, you help me find them. I won't ask you to help me dispatch them, but I must be clear that is my intention. Especially the leader, KTL. People like that, I just don't think deserve to be walking around taking advantage of people, especially if... I mean, it's one thing to take my coin and say you're going to protect me and then do the opposite. Do you understand?
Yeah. So
And I tell you what, you help me track them down, maybe do a bit of reconnaissance for me, and I will let you have some of the coin initially intended for them once we get it back.
you hear any whispers of where they might be going?
Well, they said they were already headed to Lake Grasp, so I would imagine they're probably on the same route as us, probably stopping in Lowell for a layover and then heading back to Lake Grasp.
Would you say you're a pretty popular bard? Like, do people actually like listening to you sing?
Well, again, I will say a humble bard, but enough to make a decent living. You would think by now I would have my own mercenary troop. You know, that's not a bad idea. People I can actually rely on. Are you guys interested? Travel the world, see the world, and There's a lot of
you would have to
fame
be a lot
involved.
more rich so we can rob you later. I almost said kind of jokingly.
Um,
What a funny
I'm gonna throw him
joke.
some half cured pants to put on and be like,
Indeed, we have better things to do than be your mercenaries. However, depending on what happens, you feel free to sing many songs about us. I'm pretty sure that will make you very rich, because we are very amazing.
Would it? Do people know you? What do you call
There's-
yourselves?
I'm going to look at Ron with a flourish.
They call us the Fated Five from.
Ooh,
We're just at
catchy.
Mid-Cove and, yeah, we were just at Mid-Cove and helped around the town.
Oh, yes, I was there during that attack. Shameful business, all that.
Yeah, so that was us. But I don't know about everybody else, but I'd be willing to help you. But I don't know about dispatching and killing. We might
Leave
be able
that to
get
me,
you
I'll
money
take care
back.
of that. Just, I don't know, give me as much of an upper hand as possible, and then I'll take care of the rest. I know my way around a dagger, like I said. Roguish bard.
Right, you just need a dagger.
Well, I'm sure I'm resourceful. I'll find a way.
Mm.
So where have you been on the map, just out of curiosity?
Oh dear. Everywhere, truly, to be honest. I've actually been to, I don't know if you've ever heard of Terno and Tillo, actually right outside of Lake Grasp. I've kind of made my rounds bouncing back and forth between Lake Grasp and first time in Mid-Cove, actually, but yes, a lot of the southern Kingslands. But I've always regarded myself to perhaps one day travel more northward. Like I said, the Pines, I've heard. Lovely.
Or something up there.
You ever been?
That's where I'm from.
From? Oh, yes. Where specifically?
Herodine.
Herndine. I've heard of that, I think. Somebody mentioned it in a poem. What did he rhyme it with? Herndine and blouse seam, I believe it was. It was a lovely romantic poem. Be
Well,
honest,
I mean,
it's quite
to be fair,
arousing, to be truthful.
he is very good with wood.
Oh, I imagine so. looks up and down. Good for you, sir.
Yeah, my dad's a carpenter up there.
Carpenter. Hmm.
Yeah.
Honest work, I suppose.
Yeah. So it's
So
nice up there.
what is your lot's business here now? You just adventurers?
Kind of found ourselves together, and we look to Kuran.
Would you
I mean-
call it fate?
Essentially, yeah.
Certainly. One could always say that all paths and roads lead by some form of fate, a thread, if you will. But no, just on our way to Lake Grasp. Our friend here actually is quite familiar with the town, and I'll gesture over to Asher.
well, I've been there a few times. My wife is currently staying at an inn while our home is being occupied.
Your home occupied. In what manner?
Well, have you heard of what went down in Wolfwater?
I heard rumors, yes. Something about an attack. The orcs are it again. Foul creatures. But I'm sure probably misunderstood.
Probably right. But I've heard they've done some damage.
But still, I have little patience for those who take what is not theirs, so
That's fair.
as far as I'm concerned, be gone with them.
Yeah, and we're resting here, right, guys?
It seems as good a place as any.
Heading out first thing in the morning to. Do we want to stop by Lowell? Is there anything we might need there? I know. The
Might be
chief
worth
board-
stopping and at least checking it out. See if maybe they're in the common resting spots there.
Martel did say that they might need some help with some certain things if we wanted to check in. Maybe get some just help. Some bearings.
One way to build a name for yourselves. Fated 5.
I don't know if I'll ever get used to that. But
Maybe you would if he started singing songs about us.
I
I
don't
will
know
get
if
to
I'd
work
ever-
on that right away.
The thought of a song or me being in a song is unreal. But you don't have to do anything like that at all.
Oh, but I will. Especially once I get my loot back. Ugh. I mean, you can take my clothes and leave me naked and covered in mud and shit, but please, by all goodness, leave me my loot.
Well, seeing that you're probably worse off, but you can have my bedroll that I set up right there. I'll stay right here by the fire.
Ugh, that sounds so lovely, but I, as I just said, covered in mud and shit, could not do that for you. I would feel terrible. I do have a conscience, and I didn't think you want that. Anybody have any, I don't know, water, something that I can wipe this off, perhaps?
Yes. Yes,
my
water and bandages so you can like scrub a little bit.
That would be lovely.
Yes. Because
I
you
was
do
actually-
smell very much like sheep.
Yes, yes, I do.
I was going to see, is there a small body of water nearby or anything?
Do
close to
a
where
survival
we're
check
camped? All right.
and see if one manifests in the world.
Disappears out of left field. I mean, yeah, just like a collection. Could be rainwater for all I care. Just something liquid. There's a 17.
17.
Mhm.
With that, you gather that as the field kind of dips down, there may be some kind of puddle, maybe a little more in kind of the gutter of the road. And,
Okay, so nothing that would be.
especially if the it would be enough to maybe get some of the mud and and crap off.
Well, if I were to use my cantrip to dump water on top of him, try to help. I mean, I don't want to dump a cesspool on top of him. Basically, just make it a different problem. Go from one problem to the next problem. I'm trying to help the man out a
It
little bit.
seems like it'd be some fresh rainwater, maybe not good for drinking, but enough to maybe rinse yourself off. It's not
Perfect.
super muddy.
I have an idea that might spare us our drinking water. And then I'll gesture over. And,
Alright.
well, I mean, I guess I don't have to tell you to undress. You're already there. Just stand here a moment next to this puddle.
Absolutely. Show me what you've got in
Then I'll shape water to move the water and basically dump it on top of him like I'm dumping it like a bucket.
kind of just like rubs his head and rubs his body as like much as he can, and oh wow, a shower in the wild. It's been a while since I've had a shower. It's been a while since I've had a more noble stay, to be honest.
Sometimes just the context of doing something more civilized is refreshing in and of itself. We'll
Absolutely.
try not to think too much where the water's coming from.
Yes.
Rowan's gonna
Better than my
make eye
current
contact-
state.
Rowan's gonna make
Indeed.
eye contact with Martisan and kind of point to his bedroll.
Now, I will gladly take you up on that offer. Thank you. You are a lovely group of adventurers. Nothing. Where were you when I needed to hire escorts? Shame.
Sure, we were in Midco.
We were in Midgard.
Still a big world.
We were in Midgard.
You
However
live
small
now.
it might seem.
Well, Rowan, if Rowan, here's my bedroll. I will fashion something else.
No, it's fine. You keep your bed. I sacrificed mine. I'm actually gonna stay up for a little while. I got a bit of a headache from getting rocked a couple times, so I'm gonna try to get this away and keep an eye out for a little while you guys get some rest. Who would want to take up the second shift?
Oh, me, please.
Do you want me to wake you both up, or just
I mean,
Briar?
you have benefit of us kind of always being alert a bit, so.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I'll wake you up, Briar, and then Karun, and I'll tap you and see if you want to get up or if you want to sleep.
Mhm.
So.
Or Brian. That's good.
Okay.
Roll me a d10. Or chat. Hey, chat.
Oh, yeah.
Chat.
Yes.
Can
way,
we do
way
D10?
more better idea.
Can we do D10 in chat?
I think D20 is the only one we've got set up.
If
as
we
of right
can't
now.
do D10, just roll me a D20. Somebody. Lovely, beautiful faces in chat.
We'll divide it by 2.
So it can be your fault when the party dies.
Oh, yeah, that was quite a heavy bearing. The previous guy had. He almost TPK'd or killed Rowan.
I want to say that
Thank
was
you,
Mr.
Raina.
Azir.
Nice, Reina.
Hey, it's in the D10 range. I don't
Ooh.
have to do math.
Or we just have it. Maths. Simple maths. Quick maths.
I could have it. Do you want that encounter instead?
Uh-uh.
No. Go with the better. Go with the better. Go with the better.
So, as you had seen earlier when you were setting up, oddly enough, when it was clear skies, there seems to be moving your way again faster than the clouds you had seen before and darker yet. Clouds making their way from the east towards your guys' direction. Every now and then they light up the sky. Kind of webs of light through the cloud, the dark clouds, and you hear it kind of
You're muted.
Are you meaning to be muted?
Well, yeah, we're asleep.
She's
Rowan's the only
unconscious.
one
Well,
awake, right?
we're entranced right now.
Oh, so yeah.
It's just you, honey.
Oh, I thought you were talking. Sorry.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, is there like a close area of cover that I can keep in mind if I need to wake them all up if that rain comes in faster? Like a cave or like a bunching of trees that probably
Get under a
deter the
tree.
rain. That's probably not a
There-
smart idea with the thunder and
Roll a
lightning
perception
coming.
check for me.
But something. That is a 10. So not too. 10 plus 3, 13.
There is a bunching of trees not far as you venture further from the road. How much cover that would be and how smart that would be during a thunderstorm.
Not that smart.
Public service announcement: the Legends of Aelos does not condone hiding under trees for shelter in
yes,
thunder and
yeah.
lightning storms. Don't do that.
Not-
Don't do that.
not the best. Oh shit. Alright, well. We got we have a lot of hours ahead of us. Everyone's gonna talk out loud. I'm just gonna keep a really good close eye if the rain starts coming. Like it feels like a sprinkle. Starts smelling the rain. You know that rain smell within the dirt. He's gonna pay more attention to that because once that smell starts coming, that means it's getting closer. So
Near the end of your watch, the clouds are nearly upon you. The clouds are pretty fast moving from where you were
So,
seeing them off in the distance.
Instead of just waking up just Briar, I'm gonna wake up everybody. Sorry to
Rowan,
wake
what-
you guys, but we got a storm coming, and we don't have a tent.
The one day I didn't make shelter. I look over at the barn and be like,
And I'm gonna wake up Martison. Wakey, wakey.
How are you doing so?
Hmm?
How are you doing so?
I'm just gonna gently touch his shoulder, just kind of like move like that. Would it be a persuade?
As you do so, immediately, as he's lying there, he grabs your hand and like pulls you in almost, and like as if he had a knife, like had his hand in your throat, and like, my apologies, scared me.
It's fine.
Is there an issue?
Rowan's gonna point to the sky. It's about to rain. Probably should get off this ground. We'll get some cover or try to trek our way to a little bit faster than what we wanted. Sorry to wake you, but I don't
That's
think
all
we
right.
can
Sorry
make
for
it.
the aggressive posturing. I'm just a little bit jumpy these days.
You're fine. My mentor probably did that to me a couple of times. He's a little jumpy as well. So, when he gets up, Rowan's gonna roll up his bedroll and throw it on his pack and start kind of cleaning up the site.
well, we can try. So Asher's going to look around and see if he can either make us some shelter or like.
And that's what Karoma do. Also, we want to see if we can determine, is this can we easily move out of the way of it, or is this like a whole horizon, like horizon to horizon storm front coming through?
It's not necessarily horizon to horizon, but in the breadth of it that is approaching you, you wouldn't be able to go like north or
You
south
couldn't-
to
yeah.
escape it.
Gotcha.
regard.
Okay. So then, yeah, I'd assist in helping making some quick impromptu lean-tos.
Rowan's gonna point to the batch of trees that look like could provide cover. That's a possibility, but I heard thunder, which means lightning. Not a good idea, just so you guys know.
Yeah, as you say this, more through the dark clouds.
Tent sounds really good right about now.
Yes, but we opted for a boat instead, or at least to wholly own a boat.
Well, let's go get some lumber. We'll see
Yeah.
what we can make.
Some
Rowan's gonna
thatch.
assist in looking for
All
makeshift
right, roll me
materials.
some survival checks.
We will be making this
Two
in
of
the
you.
wet, unfortunately.
Yeah, Briar is going to be keeping an eye on the bard because, I mean, he's still a stranger after all.
Wait,
and
who's-
she-
Do you
You
want to
said
give me
two.
advantage? Or...
Who's making them? You rolled, right, Spec?
I rolled to help look for the makeshift materials.
That would be a part of the
Okay.
survival check. Yeah, it's all kind of
Yes.
considered
So the
like that.
two. So it's you two and not me. I just want to determine who's rolling of the three of us, because only two.
Oh, I thought we were all rolling. Okay. I'm
just going by what the DM said.
Okay.
Well, hopefully you're better than what I did.
Well, I rolled a 19, so it rolled a 16 to a 19.
Okay.
9. So 3 plus 6.
Okay, with
Okay.
that, you're able to make one decently, not necessarily waterproof, but it would protect two of you, probably from majority of the elements. What Asher is able to fashion, not so much, in the current situation. So maybe like one of you or two, maybe one of you in his shelter could fit comfortably. So if You want to attempt to build more shelter as it's starting to pour down more, and the clouds are at this point upon you.
Karan, if you want to do the next one.
Yes, I mean, this isn't going to be enough for all of us. And that is a 19 plus. Where is it? Nature, you said, right? Or survival.
Survival.
Okay, so that's a 23.
$23, you said?
23. Mm-hmm.
Okay, with that, you kind of continue and actually end up making the kind of shoddy shelter that Asher made into a more comfortable 3-person habitat that could keep you mostly dry. That is comfortable accommodation, comfortable as it can be for a makeshift shelter for 5 people. For 6, little less comfortable. You may have to do a little bit of spooning.
You guys.
What is it? Up the creek without a paddle. What is that movie?
Yeah.
This never leaves the cave.
If you guys want to continue sleeping, I'll finish my my watch here, and then I'll wake up Briar.
Still need a fire? Or are we just giving up on warmth?
Is it cold outside? Is it
Wet outside.
It's wet.
It's wet.
It's wet.
Okay.
Um,
Okay,
I
so
could try to make a fire in the shelter, like a campfire kind of a thing, like a small little.
Oh,
body heat will keep us warm. But
Brian, you go and rest yourself some more. I'll stay up alongside. I'm gonna work on building a little fire pit, like a covered fire pit. I forget what the actual proper name of it is, but you basically dig under the ground, you put the fire pit underneath, and you allow the wind to blow through. It keeps it concealed. Anyways,
Well, still, Ron, do you think you're going to stay in maybe one place, perhaps, for your watch, or are you going to be moving around?
I'll probably sit right here outside
Okay,
while you guys
so-
are inside.
I'm gonna walk over and I think I'm reading this right. Shape water. You can cause water to form in simple shapes and animate at your direction for an hour. So I just want to umbrella above Rowan, or at least an hour. Oh,
Okay. That will disrupt your rest, so you would be essentially keeping watch with him. So that would disrupt some of your rest time, because you would have to actively be doing that.
Oh, then I'm just gonna go to bed.
It's not that big of a deal. I mean, you just have to consider that that's cutting into some of your rest time.
Rowan will be fine.
Okay. Yeah, he'll be fine. I'm gonna go to bed. I was just gonna try to be nice. That's cool. I'll take back my nice.
Briar does it for a little bit, and then as she's just kind of monotonously doing this, she kind of just drifts into her trance.
all of a sudden, Rowan's head is just wet and guess she fell asleep.
I was just gonna sit there and just keeping a watchful eye out.
Do you need me to make another survival roll to build that?
To build what? The
little
I would
fire
say
pit?
Easy enough for this.
Okay.
Just takes a little bit of time. And at this point, it's raining heavily, and you see every now and then the lightning kind of travel through the raindrops towards the ground, kind of around you. I'm gonna roll some dice.
At least he's nice enough to tell us.
I know. He all of a sudden he doesn't say anything. He just goes, and we're all like, "Oh God, don't do this."
Picks up a whole bucket. Just
Here's all the D4s roll.
I know, but I'm kind of a glutton for punishment, so I think I'd be okay with it. It's fine,
and makes for good drama.
right?
Okay, 1 out of 5.
Out of 5 what?
As a save or a fail. You
Only
know?
4 of you are dead now.
1 out of 5.
Mhm.
I'm gonna roll another dice. Actually, chat, roll me a d20. Chat, who's getting struck by lightning?
He's a villain.
Oh,
You're a villain.
boy.
Rolled a 10.
Oh god, that music. Rowan
You're
has
tou-
the worst luck.
You're touching the ground, you're grounded, okay? Just think good thoughts.
And they're like, how many black cats crossed your path in your life?
So-
how many mirrors did you break?
I don't know, right?
Well, that was what,
Sky.
1 mirror, and you live with a black cat, so.
Mhm.
Sky,
Superstition,
which
Shiny
tent
bastard.
are you in?
Which tent? I'm in Charon's tent.
Run! Hey, I need both of you to roll dexterity saving throws for me.
Okay.
That's what you get for being friends with Briar. She sleeps with you. Let's see.
Alrighty then.
All right. 17 total.
That is probably not good enough.
No.
Yeah, yep. It's a 14.
False.
You guys are lucky. Okay, so Rowan, as you see, as lightning kind of as it's scattering through the sky through these clouds, it's almost abnormal, kind of akin to what you saw when good old Abyssia showed up, but not purple and not unnatural in that regard, but just the way it travels through and then it seems to be sporadic. You see some of it kind of strike out through the valley, and it's a decently bright night despite the dark over cloud. And you see for a moment, just as if you've been flashbanged, just and then you hear it. Sky, you take 3 points of lightning damage. Karan, you take 6 points of lightning damage. I rolled terrible on the lightning damage as a lightning
I'm not
bolt
complaining.
strikes the shelter that you currently are residing in, and it is now on fire.
Jesus Christ! Rowan's gonna run in
Good
there.
job, Phalanx. Good roll.
So,
Cameron, get out. Get
if
out.
it's on
Oh,
fire,
Get out! Get out of what? The thing is obliterated. It's everywhere. It's in flames. It's cinders.
Well, we probably gotta.
Asher will wake up and control flames the fire out. Just like one of those, like, oh shit, that's bad.
And Rowan is going to, once it's all kind of calmed down, you guys can take mine. Right over there. So,
It's
fine.
all right.
I'm not going to sleep. Thank you very much. You can go to sleep. It's fine. It is fine. Okay, it was fire. Okay, don't like fire.
Yeah.
So as you're controlling flames, roll me a perception check.
That's a 19 plus 25.
Wait, what?
25.
Oh, 25 total.
19 plus 25.
What?
15 plus from. This is a god tier level 2.
Right?
This druid
Wow.
it finds druids.
As you try to manipulate this fire, you move some of it, and you notice there's still some, like, static electricity kind of just sitting in this kind of ball where you were manipulating the fire, and you see as it kind of unfurls, some arms and
kidding me?
some legs.
Most excellent, kind sir.
Wow.
I'm gonna like, because I'm assuming Rowan
That
just
look,
went to
bud.
lay down.
I feel so
I
disappointed.
don't think he has. He hasn't yet. Mm-mm.
Oh,
As this
Well-
small figure with kind of, it has almost like it's blue and electrical in nature and has this humanoid form that just forms with these static, and it unfurls its fingers with that, which just shoot out lightning bolts here and there, and it kind of looks up and you see there's no distinguishable facial features or anything. It's pretty small, about the size of like a halfling or so, and it has kind of like what you would artistically think as a lightning bolt shaped head as it kind of peers up. And roll initiative.
Most excellent, kind sir.
Dude throws a freaking Etna at us at the end of the last episode, and we're like, oh boy, get to rest.
19.
I mean, who rolled the roll?
16.
That's who you blame.
21. No, well,
Let
I'll
me
wait till
roll
he comes around.
some.
Oh, right. Yeah, we need to hit it.
That's the Buck DM.
Wow.
All right, give me a. Hold on, let me.
I rolled a 15.
Are you gonna have chat roll the
Okay,
little
so-
Drugan's initiative?
Hey, Asher, what's yours?
16.
16. Briar.
19.
What is the high? Who's got the highest? I'm doing this on
Rowan.
paper this time. What was
21.
yours? 21.
21.
Got
Well, 17.
Rowan. 21. And then Briar with 17.
No, mine's 19.
19. And then Asher.
16.
And that will be right there with Ace, which I think he has higher dex, right?
Yeah, I have a +1 dex.
Okay. Ace. 16. Asher. 16. And then we have Run.
15.
15. Let me roll our boy. Okay, what is his? Not bad. Okay, so he's at 17, actually.
Lightning nymph dude.
Mhm.
Something like that, it seems, huh? Okay. So, first up, Rowan, you see this little creature kind of rise from the burning shelter.
I know it's a stupid thing, but Rowan is gonna be like, "What the hell is that?" And he's just gonna kind of look at it for a moment and see if it's friendly. I doubt it.
Do an insight check before you make an action. Let's see if you can tell if it's a friend or foe after rolling initiative.
My boy,
Yeah. No, it's my boy. I roll. You said a perception or insight?
Or insight check, yes.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 13, so that's a 14 insight.
14 on the insight. It seems easy enough that it is posturing aggressively. It is
Okay.
rising from this, and like lightning bolts kind of from its fingers are intensifying a bit.
Okay. So Rowan is going to kind of go up to it, and this could.
Pet it. Don't pet it. Don't
Rowan's
pet
gonna
it.
go up and attack it with both Jathril's flame tongue and Lymel's blade.
Okay, roll for attacks.
Well, miss. So
Oh,
that's a
fuck.
17 plus 5. 22 to hit for the first one.
That'll hit.
And wow, that suck that hit the other die. That is a 10 plus 5 for Light Mills Blade. So 15.
That'll hit.
Okay.
Yep. Roll damage on both of those.
That's a 7 plus 3, so 10 slashing damage. And I'm also gonna try to, I'm gonna bonus action. Well, bonus action now to try to activate the flame. I forgot to do that. I have to do that.
Okay.
So
That's fine. Hold up.
That is a 19.
And
Okay, so now I'm gonna roll for the flame damage, which is 1d4. So that's 13 damage for Limil's Flame Tongue. And 2 plus 3, 5 slashing damage for Limil's Blade.
Okay.
And that's it for Rowan.
All right, hold on. Give me the damages again, please.
Yeah, so that is 13 for the Flame Tongue. And 5 for Limil's Blade.
Okay, as you deal this damage, it doesn't seem to be as effective as you anticipate.
Good.
As it
Okay.
kind of slices through, it seems like it does weaken its essence a little bit, but it kind of just reconnects. And give me 1 second here. You said, what was the second damage?
5.
5. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. As you make contact with this,
Neat. I mean, Rowan doesn't know, so, I mean...
the first strike, as you swing and slice through, you feel this jolt through your swords and you take 4 lightning damage. And the second one, as it connects as well, you take 2 lightning damage. As the second one, you kind of jolted from the first one and swing with the second one, and little less emphasis on that one, and you kind of feel the jolt kind of complete the circuit through you. That
With
is
that-
6 total lightning damage.
Would you say I took like 5 feet movement to get to him?
Probably something like that.
Okay, I'll probably take 15 back, so I'll let him take an opportunity attack. But with that, Rowan would be like, "Oh, get out," kind of a thing. Like, yeah, that's not good. It didn't feel good.
Okay.
So Rowan's gonna take 15 feet back.
All right, give me a second here.
Okay.
That's a 15 to hit.
Does not hit.
Does not hit. Okay.
Does not hit.
Okay.
And
You
I'm
see
gonna tell
as it kind
group-
of arcs like from its fingers as you try to go away, it kind of, and you just out of the reach of that arc of lightning as it kind of extends its hand towards you.
Rowan's, as he jumps back, Rowan's gonna, don't touch it directly. It'll shock you.
It'll shock you.
And he's gonna specifically turn to Asher and Ace that. So, if you got non-touchy thingies, that's the way to go.
Okay, so we move to Briar.
How shocking. I'm going to look at the dragon and cast Mindsleever. So, it's an intelligence save of 13, Mr. Wilson.
Okay.
I
That
have
will
literally
not
nothing
save.
prepared for this.
Oh, let me
It
check.
did-
Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Okay, you can have your second.
Barky.
Druids are literally built around this type of encounter. Nothing
Right.
prepared.
Do you pick your spells? Just out of
Yeah, I
curiosity.
picked my spells at the
Mhm.
beginning of the day, which I didn't
Mhm.
pick any spells yet because we have
Okay.
completed a rest.
We're good. So roll your damage for that.
Well, excellent. So, you go 1d6 with rainbow, and then we have our vine wheat.
So Vine Whip, roll the attack first.
Yes, I will, because I have my post-it note to remind me of that. So vine whip +3. Oh, okay, that's a 19.
Okay,
So
Vine
now
Whip
I
will
do the
also hit.
damage for vine whip. It's a 4. Okay, so for just the vine whip, it's going to take 5 damage, and then from the mind sliver, it'll take 3 psychic damage, and you'll have to take a 1d4 on your next saving throw.
Okay. All right. And we move to Martison, who is currently unarmed. What can he do?
Hopefully nothing, because Rowan did say don't touch it. He's got, like, he's naked. Literally.
He's got buckskin pants on that are currently half cured.
What is this, Skyrim?
Rowan, as you kind of walk back towards the rest of the group and kind of like shaking off that, he puts his hand on you and he said, "You're quite a hero, aren't you? Just going right in there and getting after it, aren't you?" And he cast heroism on you. So
Okay.
this is going to be, you'll be immune to frightened, and you gain temporary hit points equal to his spellcasting ability modifier at the start of each of your turns. When the spell ends, the target loses any remaining temporary hit points. So that will be, what is his spellcasting modifier? These are so unhelpful with the information.
Yeah.
I think it's a 4.
Okay.
So you will gain 4 temporary hit points,
Okay, and I'm just immune to fear?
and you're immune to fear. Immune to fear.
Okay. Cool. I'm there. I'm first one in. Last one to try to get out, but yeah, that really rocked my world there. But with that, Rowan's gonna kind of bolster up a little bit.
Okay. That will end his
Thank
turn.
you.
We move to Ace, who is probably gonna ignore that and just go in. I don't know. That feels like no. I'm gonna play him smart. He's going to take hearing that. He's going to take Grizzy's repeater crossbow and take 2 shots. Let me do that
that's
for
right.
him.
He's got a crossbow.
Yep, he took it.
Technically didn't have it equipped currently, but I can just change that real quick. Currently being wielded. And let me see. Actions. Grizzy's repeater hand crossbow. Let's just roll the dice. That's 19 to hit. That will hit. And then we're going to roll for disadvantage. So 1 hits. Let me roll again with disadvantage. 14. And then let me roll the disadvantage. Stop. Go away. No, another one. 19. So 14 would also hit. Yes. So both of those hit. What is the damage for that? For Ace. Get him, Ace. It's a D6. Okay, +1. Let me roll that. Nice. And nice. So 6 and 5. But as the crossbow bolts pierce through, it doesn't seem to be as effective as you would hope. Minus. Okay. That ends his turn. Asher, what would you like to do?
Well, Asher's gonna look at Rowan after hearing that and be like, well, I don't know why the spirits are angry, but... And then I will ignore what he said and charge in as a wolf.
All right.
So use my bonus action to transform and then take a bite.
Roll for an attack.
That 20.
All right. Roll damage.
So hold on. It is. I should know this by now. I've played him enough. Plus 5 to hit 2d6. That's 9 plus 3, so 12 damage. Or wait, 9 doubled, which is 18 plus 3, so 21 damage.
All right. Nice. As you bite at this lightning, not as satisfying as biting into the necks of fleshly foes, but you do a significant chunk of damage. What is...
Oh, and he needs to make a strength saving throw.
Okay, so we're looking at... Okay. Let me try. We're gonna grapple some lightning.
Oh, knock it prone. Unless it's immune to being prone,
wow.
which...
No, it's not technically. Oddly enough, what is a 14 get me?
Succeeds. DC of 13.
Succeeds. Okay. So as you attempt to harness this lightning in your mouth, you take 4 lightning damage as it's a shocking bite in this attempt here. And we come to Karan.
Sacred flame. Because it's literally the only thing I can do.
I saw that shitty eyes. I was like, oh, he's gonna go sacred flame.
It's the only thing I can do. Or
I
punch
feel
it.
like-
14 out of the way. We're good.
Wait, can you guys see on D&D Beyond?
Yeah, we see when you roll.
When you roll,
we
yeah.
see when you
Okay,
roll, yeah.
I'm gonna roll it on there just because I feel
Sure.
so bad about blind.
I appreciate it.
What does the
I'd
DC
rather
have to be?
I want him to be able to see that I'm not cheating this.
at least it'll be a computing system
let me
rather than
say
just straight physics.
also, It's
Screwing you over.
that's a dex save, right?
Hmm?
Is that a dex
This is
save?
a dex save. Yes,
Dex
correct.
save.
It is a dex
Okay.
save, which is
There's
probably amazing.
also a -1 on this, actually.
Oh, okay.
Oh
so
boy.
that we have to.
So it's gonna be
That's
through
one.
Ace's roll, but that's a D20. We're rolling out. Hey! It's a 10.
Nice. All right, give me that D8. Let's see that
Yeah,
D8 of
D8
damage.
Let's go.
D8 damage. Go. It's a 7.
Nice.
7.
7 damage.
7 radiant damage if that has any
Radiant
effect.
damage.
I'm assuming it'd be a detriment, not a benefit in this fight, if anything. It might just be one.
As you shine some light on this light being,
Love it.
the clouds kind of open up and this radiant beam of energy shines down, and then the electrical field of this entity has dispersed.
Yes.
Did it.
Ah.
I need to make a roll though.
Oh
Oh.
no. Regenerate.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Don't recharge. Oh,
As this
False.
happens,
Okay.
a moment later, as if traveled along the ground, 2 littler ones have sprung up in place of this one. And we now enter their turn because technically that's the initiative roll of this.
Can I use my bonus action to just say, God, can't I just get some rest?
I just want some shut eye.
Are they right next to each other? Like, are they?
They've kind of split off probably about 10 feet from each other.
10 feet?
Yep.
Okay. Good to know.
Asher's still right where the old one was, though.
Yep.
So, like,
Well,
That's not gonna
try
hit.
to move
Asher and
And that's
two
not
little
gonna hit.
guys.
They missed their attacks. Oh wait, hold on. I'm bad at my monsters. Do I have more than one attack? Let's go! Dang! I rolled a 1, an 8, and a 5. And an 8! What the heck? Okay. Monsters
was an
failed
emotional
all
roller
4
coaster.
of their attacks. All 4 of their attacks. Okay, back to the top of the line. Hey, Rowan, what would you like to do?
Rowan, I know, and kind of Rowan's just gonna run, and as he's running, I'm sure he's passing by people. I know I said not to touch him, and he's just gonna doosh, and try to hit one of the closer tiny ones.
Roll for attacks.
I know I said not to touch him. I mean, okay, so that is a 12 plus 5, 17 to hit with the flame tongue.
That'll hit.
And a 10 for Limeo's blade, so plus 5 is 15.
That'll hit. Roll your damage.
Okay. Oh, that's not too savvy. 2 plus 3, 5 slashing damage for Limeo's flame. I'm gonna throw the fire out there too. That's 3, so 2 plus 3, 5, 8 damage total from the flame tongue.
Okay.
And then 4 plus 3 slashing damage, so 7 slashing damage from Limeo's blade.
And then 7. Okay. The essence of this one looks very weak after these 2 solid attacks, but again, not as strong as what you would anticipate for a normal fleshly being. And as you swipe both of these attacks, you get a little bit of a jolt. You take 5 points of lightning damage altogether. between the 2
5? Oh, okay. What is it? I don't know.
Rowan's that kid that keeps putting things in the outlet.
Like,
Can't take his own advice. I'm gonna just stay right there.
Briar, you're up.
So, Sky doesn't want to do this, but Briar is going to. And I'm very sorry to Ashia and Ron. She's because they're in a 10-foot radius. And when you use the spell, I'm gonna run over and I'm gonna use Earth Tremor.
Okay.
So unfortunately, though, everybody within a 10-foot radius has to make a dex save of 13.
oh,
Things
everyone?
happen. Okay.
Ron's good at dex. Dex.
I am not. Wait, what is
That's
the
a
wolf good at it?
13 and an 8. So
What do we have to pass?
A 13.
The one that has not been hit yet
I love you,
has
cousin.
succeeded. The one that failed, or the one that has been hit by Rowan and was already looking hurt, is prone currently.
Perfect. So it is prone. So if you fail, you're not only prone, but you take 5 bludgeoning damage.
So
And yeah.
I got
Okay,
15.
that'll do it. As this thing falls and the ground is rumbling, it just kind of. There's no one in sight, and that one has dispersed. That static energy is gone.
And then Briar's just gonna look at Asher and put her hand on him and be like, I'm so sorry, cousin. I had to try.
Yeah, so I rolled a 5, and I was like, I only have a +1 dex. I was like, wait, what does the wolf have? +2 dex. Fuck.
It's like Davner's rolls.
Except Davner has a 20 dex, so Everything passes.
Rowan got a 14, just so everybody.
Yeah.
15. 11 plus 4. 15, sorry.
Does that end your turn, Brian?
Yes.
We move to Martison, who he is going to point at the little lightning entity. Hey, shock fuck. Come after me.
Fuck. Blind space.
Oh, there's an insult.
And it fails its charisma saving throw. It now has disadvantage on ability checks, attack rolls,
Right.
saving throws until the start of his next turn.
Nice.
So, okay. That is his turn. We move to Ace. Probably again just gonna or let me just roll the attacks this way.
Get an ace, get an ace.
Clear all. Boop. That's 18. That'll hit.
Ace.
And I gotta roll disadvantage on this one. So 18 on the first one and 14. That'll still hit. Okay. Another 2 hits. And I guess I can just roll the damage this way too. Boop. That's 4 and 1. 2. Okay. 4 and 2. 6. So we'll take. There. Okay. And we move to Asher.
Okay, Asher's gonna pounce on the little guy that's still alive. For a 17 plus.
That'll hit. That'll hit.
Yep, and so it's 2d6.
17 plus. That'll hit.
That'll hit. No need to do math. Just save that brain.
Quick math.
That's 9 plus 3, so 12 damage.
Nice. Okay. It's looking really hurt. It's got a really weak essence right now. Very hurt. But so will you be after this 2 damage. 2 lightning damage.
And then it also has to make the strength save.
Yep. Okay. That is a 10.
That fails.
It is prone. Oh, wait. I got to roll it with disadvantage. It doesn't matter. I mean,
It
it doesn't
still
matter. I
fails.
failed anyway.
Save that nat one for a bad time.
Let me see if I roll one right now. No, I rolled another 10. Okay, it is prone.
Hey.
And we move to Karan.
And guess what?
Sacred.
Sacred
Wait, let me do it this way.
Yes. With the sacred flame with
disadvantage.
advantage for me.
Hey,
Yeah.
we don't even need it. It's a 2. Let's go. It's a 1.
All right.
technically.
That is an 8
It
radiant damage.
again. The heavens open up and light shines down and the electricity is gone, dispersed. And as you do this, the skies, as if where the radiant energy opened up, begins to open up even wider, and the clouds lose their darkness, and the electricity that had struck around the environment around you seems to like travel back up into the sky and then disperse as the clouds lose their darkness. And all is calm on this silent night now.
So while Asher's all his hair is standing up, he's gonna run over and like put his nose right into Briar.
Hold on.
Like, you know when you pet your dog and they like
Yeah.
they zap you?
I
and,
have
like,
static.
That is really rich. And so I'm gonna go. That was because I gave you a unibrow, isn't it?
Is Rowan's hair standing up? It's kind of like just
A
kind
little
of.
bit. Yep. Anybody that got shocked a bit is kind of.
Then I'll revert back to human form and be like, well, that was for earth trembling.
Rowan's gonna sheathe the flame tongue and kind of hold the Limeil's blade and kind of touch it to kind of like discharge the electricity.
Martelson, bravo, adventures. We really rode the lightning there, didn't we?
But you could say we were thunderstruck.
Ah.
Shocking, I know.
Yes, it was a bit of a shock, wasn't it? Never come across anything like that. That was mystical. It's like something out of a fairy tale. I am writing a song about that ASAP. I guess you are truly worthy of song and praise, aren't you? Worthy bunch of adventurers.
So long,
Rowan,
spoke.
if you want to get sleep, I will be up. I'd like to meditate on, see if I can see why the elements are angry.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and head to my cabin, but hopefully, as Rowan walks by, he's gonna boot Briar on the nose and see if it shocks her.
One final discharge.
for the earth underneath him quaking a bit.
Walking around in socks on the carpet, like.
But he's gonna go lay down in his little shack that he made or whatever.
You mean the one that's on fire?
Rowan built a supper one.
One of them is on fire.
Yeah.
One of them has been burnt down. So you
The
at this
2-person
point,
one
the
that
cloud has cleared though, so you're not too worried about
Mm-hmm.
coverage unless chat rolls something else, you know.
God.
That's enough encounter for now. This night, the rest of the night will be
Another
unabated,
encounter.
unabated.
I just want to sleep. But yeah, no, Rowan's gonna go sleep in his little shack thingy.
I'm honestly surprised I did anything in that fight. I had one thing that could do anything.
Sacred flame.
It worked this time.
You get sacred flame.
Everyone look under your chairs.
That's why I'm rolling it that way, because I just feel so bad. I'm like, I promise I'm not taking
I
you
appreciate
down.
it. I appreciate that. It is panned in my favor, so I'm not
It's
playing.
working.
Oh, well.
I,
It is working.
Literally, I have like 3 or 4 different abilities that could have saved that if I prepared them.
Well, it's not your fault, unfortunately. So
Yep.
I have a
I'd
bad
like,
druid.
I'd like to blame you, but I can't. So
No, you're a low level druid. That's what you are. Now, if we're level 5 and you're unprepared, that is inexcusable.
Mm.
all right. So Rowan has gone to bed, and whoever wants to, I guess Asher's taking the second shift.
So, Asher, as you take this second shift, you're kind of meditating on, kind of, like you said, what seems to be the disruption in nature, and you feel this kind of like presence, as if you're being watched, and you see, as you kind of like this not necessarily a static, but like the hairs kind of stand on end, and you kind of turn and you see off kind of across the road from where you guys have set up shop, just sitting and panting, the wolf form that you're familiar with interacting with. Just
I'll try to like wave him over to see if he'll come by.
he does that kind of like and then like, runs over and it kind of like nuzzles right up to you and just kind of like sitting there panting, like as you like rub its chest, rub its neck.
Oh boy, what's going on?
As he's just sitting there, he stops for a second, kind of just like this change in demeanor from this like animalistic, just like this puppy dog or whatever, turns like with this intense look as it stares into your eyes, and then there is a disruption. I am not sure what it is yet. And then the familiar voice that kind of emanates through the mind of this creature, and then
That is concerning. And then I'll just kind of spend the rest of my shift just kind of contemplating that, keeping an eye out.
yeah, and as you're just sitting there scratching, and just in this kind of odd instance where it almost feels like none of it had just happened, but it felt so real, you almost like snap out of it and come to, and the wolf is gone, and even your hands are just kind of like as you were when you were meditating, and it was that kind of weird parallel where it was like that totally just happened, but it didn't happen kind of feeling.
I'll kind of look over at the party and make sure everyone's okay and be like, well, that's going to take time to get used to. And then I'll just spend the rest of my time playing with the control flame on the whatever campfire we have and keeping myself occupied.
Okay, so we'll come to the last shift here. Now I'll go ahead and speed past this. We won't need to do it because I'm not going to give you guys another encounter after all. I'll let you finish your long rest finally. Okay.
Thank you.
thank you. So after the shifts are had.
Since magic users, don't forget to, since we had a sleep, choose what spells you want to maybe get used to that, cousin, yes?
Oh, trust me, I am getting things that actually might help.
Such a merciful DM. Nice. Well, listen, I mean, I could have not said that, but for expediency's sake, let's get on with it.
Twice now our chat has tried to kill us already.
Contributed in trying to kill us.
Chat,
Yes,
you want me to give him
Not
another
outwardly
encounter?
try to kill us, all right? We don't
Valorant,
think
You
you're trying to
want to
outwardly
roll another
kill us.
D20 Phalanx? Do you want to see what you can do this time? D20, there it is. All right, let me check. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. Though that would be fun.
That would obviously. I don't know.
No, I mean what he rolled.
Oh,
All right, save it for later. Yep, we'll keep that one on the back burner.
Or rain check that one, pun intended.
So, as the morning comes, you finally feel rested after the merciless encounters and storm of the night. What would you like to do?
Rowan is gonna walk up to I forgot the name already. Martison and say,
Ethiel.
thank you for the inspiration. Or
Yes, absolutely.
whatever
It's
you
what
did.
I do.
Never been called a hero before. I mean, in that sense.
I mean, what truly determines what a hero is? What they've done or what they do? And from what I've seen, what you did was, well, heroic, but also stupid. Bit reckless, that. But
Somebody's got to go in first.
That
And
is true.
Rowan's gonna start packing up and heading out for the first trip. While munching on a ration.
Briar's going. Wait, did the dragons leave bodies?
dragons.
Dragons?
No, they
These,
were.
Oh.
these were like
Elementals.
lightning elementals, yeah.
Oh.
So they were
never-
literally just coalesced energy that went.
Oh, never
No.
mind.
No
Briar's
loot.
going to
Sad
go up
encounter.
to
Just a pain encounter.
You
can't
loot everything.
Okay.
Might be able to get some soup from
With
the
some
burned down
food.
shelter.
That's okay. I have plenty. Rani was useful for a few things.
Yeah.
Eyo.
Oh, are we all set?
Yes, I'll just kind of grab some cured meat and start munching on it while we're going off.
Mm-hmm. No sense intending to burnt clothing now.
Mhm.
Wait till we get to town.
Great.
Martin, you got. Rowan's gonna offer him a ration.
Thank you much, kind sir. I am very grateful that I encountered you, all of you. Genuinely, I can tell that you're good folk, and I'm very thankful for your current companionship and offering to help me in my time of need.
It's like, well.
But no, sincerely, I was in a very bad off place, and you've shown me hospitality, and that is very rare to come by, especially on the road. You are normally met with a dagger or, other encounters, and it's kind of a first for me to encounter some kind-hearted individuals on the road, or at your level anywhere, truthfully. Enough of that. I'm blowing smoke up your ass. Let us continue our journey,
Before
shall we?
we go, how is everyone on water?
Pretty good. I still got my water skin here, and Rowan's gonna
Mhm.
tap this on his pack.
Well, Martin, would you like another bath? I want to refill my water skin.
Truthfully, I
Guys,
think I'm probably good enough, especially for I'm going to get all hot and sweaty in the sun while we're hiking the rest of the journey, so maybe I'll wait until we get to Lowell and maybe have a bath and some proper clothes by the time we get there.
We introduced ourselves to you, right? You know our names.
Yes. Or at least I know yours, I think, Rowan. And I've gathered some of you. Karan and
Yes. Pleasure.
Asher. Bandage Face, I'm not sure his name. And he tells him.
Ace.
Ace. I miss you, Seth. Please, internet, come back. So sad. And you?
Briar.
Briar. Pleasure.
Yes.
And then
Lingers
Rowan,
a little too long on that greeting.
Rowan's gonna turn to the road, but kind of do like a wave and say, "We see somebody in need, we help." As simple as that. And then he's just gonna keep walking.
Sometimes being a hero is more than felling a beast.
And
All right.
on the road again.
We
Just can't wait to get on the road again. All right, so, good part of your journey in this day as you get started relatively early. You didn't didn't necessarily sleep in, but still feel pretty rested. You are probably a good 6 hours on your journey, and as you come around this bend, who's taking point?
I would assume Rowan probably,
Rowan?
because he was the first one
Yeah.
to turn to the road.
Rowan or Ace, probably, yeah.
Mhm.
I'll probably be middle of the pack, as per usual.
As Rowan kind of takes point, and kind of right behind him, like stepping in tow, is Martison, who seems to have kind of like drawn to Rowan's energy a little bit. He kind of like keeping pace and stepping in tow, and probably talking your ear off along the journey. And then Ace right behind him. Roll me a perception check. Oh god.
Oh,
And he is
that's
completely
a
distracted as he's talking.
16 plus 3 and 19 perception.
Nice. Right around the corner, you see, laying in the center of the road, a mass that looks like perhaps a humanoid figure, laying kind of face up. And actually, with that roll, I would say you can actually see enough that you can tell that some of the clothes seem to be a little bit kind of blood-stained. And as you approach and get a little bit closer, you see there's others kind of scattered around.
I'm gonna put my hands up to kind of make everybody stop. Hang on. I want to get a closer observation of everything. I know there's more bodies, but is there any other sounds? Like, is there anything in the tree lines around us? Maybe like a trap or anything. Ambush, I should say. Ambush.
I'll say this would be a second roll, so go ahead and roll another perception check as you stopped. And I will roll as you've stopped the group. I'll roll for Ace as well, and that
is
won't
another
be
19.
anything. Another 19.
Another 19.
Looking around, there is kind of like this rock overhang where that kind of overlooks this rock overhang that kind of around this curve in the road. But there doesn't seem to be any figures or anything. There's no other kind of identifiable sounds. You do hear kind of the road kind of has like this zigzag pattern. So it goes, as you guys are walking, there's like a bend this way, and then it curves around the road, and then there's the overhang like this way. You hear on this side, just like right around the corner on the left, if you were to continue, just this slight kind of like rustling of like maybe I don't know, clothing or cloth, or and then just faintly like a
Run. I'm gonna pull out my swords. And I'm going to ignite the flame of the flame tongue.
Mhm.
That is a 19 for the flame tongue. 3 19s.
it'll ignite.
Karan, come with me, and I'm gonna run up to the body that's in the middle of the road. And I'm gonna kind of put the other sword in my one hand and try to see if the guy's breathing or if he's alive.
This one, in the middle of the road, definitely no signs of life. It has, from the other figures in the road, a different apparel. This one is dressed in more kind of dark cloth and kind of like a maroon, like a dark red maroon tinge to it, aside from the blood that has kind of covered it, the natural hue to the cloth and armor that it's wearing, and actually has kind of this black bandana mask, while the other figures seem to have different apparel, more browns and earthy, just like kind of common clothes. Each of them seem to have, there's different weapons and items scattered around. There's actually 2 crossbow bolts in the figure dressed in the more dark drab.
I think is he alive? Is he breathing?
This one is not, but as you come to this one, your attention is drawn over to the left to where you see
Sound.
a man kind of propped up against the rock, and you see he's bloodied, and actually I'll throw it up there. He's kind of got this kind of shaved sides of his heads and kind of his head and kind of a ponytail look, and missing his left hand actually, and you can see he's kind of like managed to bandage it. And by the way, take a little second here to say thanks for the raid, Cat. You're amazing. What the heck? How's
Thank you,
everybody
Cat.
doing?
I love you.
Oh,
We're just
my
coming up
gosh.
to an encounter here.
Oh, hang on, don't.
Rowan's going to go up to the guy, kind of like he's gonna rush, but he's gonna
As you
gesture to
kind of
everybody else to come
walk
up.
towards him, he has a dagger in his hand that he kind of like holds with his good hand, and you can see he's got like different bandages and stuff that he's
gonna sheathe Lymeal's blade. And he's gonna be like, hey,
Bye,
bye.
Fine.
What happened here? I'm just on watch here. Are you okay? Do you need? What happened?
bad days, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Listen, whatever you're gonna do, get it over with quick, right?
No, I don't want that. I don't
I'm
want
gonna-
that at all.
Because I'm right behind you still, Rowan. I'm gonna reach out and touch, and I'm gonna go ahead and use cure wounds.
As
on him.
you kind of approach him, go ahead and roll a persuasion check for me.
Rowan.
No, Karan, as he's trying to approach him.
Asher's gonna go to the tree line and see if he can like check for any traces of like ambush or anything of that nature.
It's a 15. I don't have a plus to it. It's just a straight 15.
Straight 15. Your posture as you kind of like calmly walk towards him and kind of like extend your hands like you mean no harm or whatever. He still kind of holds the dagger up. You get the sense that he's not gonna do anything, but he doesn't put the dagger down, if that makes sense. Like he's still holding it. He's still kind of like suspicious. And Asher, you do actually notice different. Wait, what did you roll for your?
I haven't rolled yet.
Okay, go ahead and roll. You do notice. You notice nothing.
You notice
until roll.
everything.
23.
23. Yeah, you do notice. There are different signs of all the tells of a perfect ambush location. As far as who ambushed who, it's kind of hard to tell. But you notice as Martison kind of approaches the darker figure, and you see him kind of slip down the mask, and then he kind of puts it back up, and then he kind of like pulls the shirt away, like the collar away a bit, and then kind of slips it back, and then stands up. This here is one of the accomplices of KTL, which leads me to believe that they were ambushed by our new friend here.
Did Rowan hear that? I'm sure. Probably
Yes,
did.
he's saying that to everybody, and it's close enough proximity everybody can hear that.
So, you heard him. What happened? Tell us.
He kind of holds the dagger up and then flips it around and stabs it into the ground. Yeah, that's right. Bit of a botched job this one was, but man's got to make a living, right? Kind of limited my options now, and he kind of gestures to his missing arm. And Martison kind of walks over and kind of like squats down, like face to face with him. You know, typically I'm a lover and not a fighter, but it is because of people like this that I ended up in the circumstances I ended up in the first place. The reason I have to hire mercenaries to escort me every fucking where is people like this. And you see, he looks pretty angry, but he picks himself up and kind of turns away.
Is everybody here, or did you get left behind?
He kind of looks around at the bodies on the ground. That's all of them. Was all of them. We kind of underestimated the power of our targets this time. We thought we had them outnumbered, but they were more formidable than we anticipated. By this point, Harun, you do get the impression that you would be able to lay hands and heal.
Okay.
He kind of lets you with the dagger down, and he kind of and does seal kind of the wound from his side a little bit. And he kind of like looks you in the eye, kind of still a bit suspicious, but like, thank you, appreciate it.
Well, we could
Doesn't
use your
mean we
help.
forgive you.
He's right. But we need your help. This man, I'm going to point to Martison, would like his stuff back, and we want to try to get it back. Any idea where this target of yours, I'm assuming it's your woman, Martison.
Are you saying this to the bandit or to Martison?
It's kind of like jumping between the two of them. Assuming it's Kathiel, whatever her name is, and that they were trying
Kadiel,
to target.
By this point, Martison kind of turns back around. Yes, what a lovely query. Which way did she go? And he, looking at the bandit kind of points on down the road the way you were heading. I don't know beyond that, but they just continued on down the road after they took out the whole crew and didn't seem to have much love for their comrade there. We got one of them at least, but and then when I came to this. Only guess is that they headed on down the road they was going.
Can you walk?
I can walk alright, yeah. As much as fighting and what else I'm good for. Who knows anymore, as if my lot in life was already decided. What good am I now?
Rowan's gonna put his hand out to help him up.
He kind of lays there a bit and pulls himself
Gonna
up.
help him up.
He kind of
Now here's-
looks at the arm, just kind of the bloody nub hand that he's kind of roughly bandaged.
He's gonna look. Rowan's gonna look him right in the eye and say, "Well, here's a lesson. How about instead of taking things, help people, as we do right now to you. We're going to Lowell. Once we get there, you can figure out what you need to do there, but you need a new lifestyle," and he's going to gesture to the now missing arm. that he has?
Yeah, I'm not sure what trades I'm gonna be necessarily desirable for after this, but yeah, maybe a career path changes in hand.
Do we want to take a look at these bodies, guys? Or
As you're
Well,
saying this, Martin is actually
looking for stuff?
yeah, he not necessarily looking at his stuff, but he's like looking through the different bodies, and he kind of picks one that has like less bloodied clothes, and he begins removing the clothes from one of the bandits. The least stinky of these putrid bandits, and the less bloodied, I suppose this will do. And in a matter of time, he kind of removes the buckskin and kind of like hands it to Asher, and some proper clothing now. And he is dressed in kind of a darker kind of drab, and he grabs a bow off the ground and a dagger and kind of fixes it into his. Now, maybe I'll be a little bit more helpful in any kind of scrap we come upon.
I'll put the buckskin on the dead body that he stripped to kind of make it at least somewhat decent, and because I really don't want the half-cured buckskin back.
It's all he was wearing. All he was wearing.
Martison finally has clothes.
Not naked no more.
Even if there are dead
Normal.
man's.
Yeah. Works better than nothing.
So is there anything for our group to search for? Or is this
Roll me some investigation checks.
if we wanted to look? I don't know if we all wanted to look or not. I mean, Rowan feels a little weird looting people who try to loot, so. But it doesn't mean others can't.
I think that would be between Ace and Briar.
Probably.
Okay, yeah, I can do an investigation check. Alright.
Ace definitely would. I know Ace would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ace would. So
I just don't think they're going to have anything magical. +3, so we've got an 18.
18.
Mhm.
Anybody else doing investigation?
probably Ace. If we want to.
Yeah,
Just staying
he
in
don't
his
care, no.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine-
He don't care. He'll go through those pockets. He wants that loot. What is his?
While they're doing that,
His investigation's a +0, so he's a 14.
all right. Go ahead.
So yeah, as you're kind of looking for things to loot, as far as the weapons, all of the weapons seem to remain, but you do notice that the pockets have been kind of turned inside out. You see a few different strings, which you would kind of surmise probably held coin purses. Probably were attached to a coin purse at one point, but seems they've been rummaged through.
Yes, perhaps they have been cooked. Yes.
Well, we can at least get the weapons, I guess.
But you could take, so you're looking at 5 short swords. 5 short swords, sorry. 3 daggers, or just knives, whatever. It'd probably just be a dagger.
Wives.
And then there is a crossbow. I think it's a hand crossbow. Just go ahead and write crossbow. And 3 short bows.
Well, do we want to take those and put those in those pack Ace?
Probably.
They probably already take.
So long as they fit.
I will
Yeah.
say, I'll like kind of grab one of the short bows and be like, well, if we need to hunt again, this could come in handy.
Would you
They
like
are-
a longbow, Asher, or
This will be fine. I can throw it on my pack.
Alright.
And I
Well-
already have one dagger, but if I end up losing one, catapulting it into someone, it'll be nice for us to have some extras. Yeah.
You're right.
You see
I should.
as the bandit fellow, as you guys are kind of like searching and going through and kind of accounting weapons, he actually grabs one of the short swords off of kind of one of the nearby bodies as well, kind of holds it and kind of sheaths it at his side.
Rowan probably notices it. He's gonna go up to him. I don't believe I catch your name. I'm Rowan.
Rowan, nice to meet you. Harren. Friends call me Harry.
Harry. Nice to meet
Cold.
you.
Called me Harry.
Oh, Harry. Want to come along with us to Lowell?
Suppose I got no better option now.
Alright. Let's get on out of here, guys. But on the way, kind of fill us in on the plan and why she is a target.
Dumb luck. Happened to be the one crossing the road today.
It's random.
It's not nothing personal, it's just shoddy way of making a living.
Can Rowan do an insight check? Just to be sure. Rowan, he's pretty trusting, but just wants to pick up on cues. I think I have a 3, so that's a 13 plus 3, 16 for perception. Or no, insight. That's a 14 insight.
14. Judging from the layout, it seems enough that it was just a kind of a typical bandit ambush that they had set up, and kind of like he said, it seems like they were outclassed. They thought they had him outnumbered, but numbers didn't seem to be the deciding factor in this encounter.
Well, we're just gonna keep on tracking then, and I'm sure I'm having conversation with him and Martison and everybody else.
Asher's gonna like kind of grab his shoulder and pull him to the back of the party and be like, "Well, if you're going to be traveling with us, if you cross us, I will rip your throat out, and I will not have any issue. Don't touch my friends." I'm gonna kind of push him back to the front of the party.
He kind of, as you like push him, he kind of like stumbles forward and like stops and kind of turns back. I get it. I do. I totally get it. I wouldn't trust me either. I mean, I get it. And he kind of walks forward.
Track forward to Lowell, I guess.
Okay, by this point, you are kind of approaching the... You could probably make it to Lowell sometime in the middle of the night. You estimate by about how long you've been traveling, but it would be approaching probably late night, like early morning, if you were to continue trekking on, or you can decide to take up camp somewhere as you finish the journey. So your call.
Well, should we take the camp? Bandits tend to be more active at night. I'm gonna kind of look at our new friend and be like,
Truth be told, I don't know that there's any more crews that run this area. I'd be surprised if they were. We'd probably run into them at some point on our way between towns. Kinda
Hey, Rowan,
ran this area a bit.
where we're currently stopped at, can Rowan see like any tracks that go into the woods where we could potentially camp for the night?
Roll perception.
As Rowan's kind of walking out and looking around, he's going to kind of say to the group, Do we want to just bite it and just make it through the night, or start first thing in the morning? It's 11 plus 3, 14.
Kind of similar to what you had seen. Every now and then, maybe every few 30 minutes or so, occasionally, just kind of a trail off into the woods where people kind of made, some more used than others.
What do you guys think? This seems like a good spot for now.
Agreed. Even though most of us can see relatively well at night, bandit activity, regardless of what our new friend might say, is higher in the evening hours, especially early morning. Best we play it safe, in my opinion.
Asher?
I believe we should sleep. The animals are also out. And with the elemental yesterday, something is amiss.
Briar?
I'm outvoted, so it doesn't really matter what I think.
Your thoughts matter, Briar.
I would say keep going, but I just really want to be it.
I don't blame you. I guess we just stay here for the night and we'll get up first thing in the morning. Rowan's gonna kind of hesitantly look at Harry and Martison at the potentialness between the two, but
Well, let me roll.
Oh, wiki.
As you look, Harry is kind of just kind of downcast, like he's not really like making eye contact or with anybody or anything. He, every now and then kind of just like looks at his nub, and you see as you kind of look at both of them as you say that, Martison actually kind of like notices you, look at him, and he kind of like, I'm not going to try anything, don't worry.
not saying you were. I just don't want any problems. That's all. I don't want discomfort from either of you, especially you, Martison. But I guess for the night, and Ron's gonna kind of throw down his pack and start kind of digging a little hole for like a little fire to make or start making dinner.
Actually, and she's going to lean over to Rowan. Should maybe, if they both picked up weapons, ask them to put them by the campfire in case they try to kill us? I mean, we don't know them.
Well, I was thinking the same thing, Briar.
Hey, cousin.
Okay, and then Rowan's gonna kind of stand up and not saying that I just the given situations, I just want to make sure everybody's safe tonight. And
best keep an honest man honest. And I'm gonna
Would you
kind of hold
mind
my hand out.
putting your weapons to my cousin, please? If something happens and we are attacked, you are welcome to grab them, but for peace of mind and so we all sleep well, maybe perhaps do that thing.
Martison kind of immediately, yeah, sure, no problem. And he hands it to Asher, and Heron kind of unsheaths and holds it in his hand a little bit. And he's like, I mean, what happens if we get attacked?
I will drop them before I rip throats out.
Be a lot more comfortable and be a lot more helpful if I had it on me. And Martison at that kind of like reaches, yeah, if he's keeping his, I'm keeping mine. I'm not getting my throat cut in the middle of the night. I would like to at least be able to defend myself.
I'm going to pull his back and then kind of reach my hand out. Well, it's better to keep an honest man honest, and he can attest we can protect you all.
Martison kind of looks at him. I've seen it. They can do some pretty crazy things. They're quite heroic, to be honest. Roll a perception check, or persuasion check.
Holy shit! I actually did something. Persuasion. I'm pretty sure it's a +0. It
Yeah,
is.
of
So an
course,
18.
Okay.
He
I
kind
was
of,
going to do
like,
an insight check on Harry, but
holds it loosely in his hand and walks over and kind of flips it around and hands it to you, Hill, first.
I'll take it, and I'll try to do like an insight check to see if that's the only one that he has.
Roll an insight check. Okay.
Rowan, when he hands the sword over, I promise if there's anything that happens, your sword will come back
Oh,
to you.
I'm good at that. 21.
Thank you.
There's this subtle thing that he does as he hands it to you. He's kind of like positioned in a way where he's almost shielding a little bit, and and he does this like with his phantom hand, like, you know, that thing where you check, like, is my wallet there, kind of
Yeah.
thing. And he almost does that kind of thing, and then kind of hands it to you and turns around, hands the short blade to you, and
Yeah, so when he hands me the one weapon, I'll just like keep my hand out and be like,
as
make
he
eye
kind of
contact of
starts
like,
to turn around, and then he sees you still have your hand out.
yeah, all of them.
He kind of reaches across, and underneath this kind of pocket that is attached to the outside, he pulls out kind of a smaller dagger, a knife.
I'll
Hands it to you.
take that as well and hand him over to Ace to keep a hold of
you.
him.
Thank
I
you, Harry.
apologize. I'm not trying to be shady. It's just that you've lived enough time out in the wild, and it's hard to go without your weapons. You feel a bit naked. Martison, naked. Tell me about it.
Well, here's a lesson on trust building trust. Go get some sleep.
Buyer will volunteer for the first watch.
Before
Hey,
he
chat.
goes, before they go to bed, can Rowan stop Harry?
Mhm.
Can Rowan look at the nub? His
You can look at it.
Is it fresh? Is it very
Yeah.
fresh? Is it open?
Pretty fresh as far as, like, yeah. And he's kind of, it's been with the cure wounds, it's kind of like sealed over in that regard, but it was fresh as far as like having been.
Okay. I was gonna suggest cauterizing the wound with the flame tongue, but if it's
Oh god. Luckily there's magic. We don't have to do Civil War style.
Never mind. Then if seeing that, if that Rowan probably would have been able to see that, so Rowan's not gonna stop him when he's going to go to bed.
What can we do?
Karama's going to do a double
Lord
watch.
Dungeon Master? Yeah, yes. Roll me
Make
a
a roll,
d20.
chat.
Roll me a d20.
So for my watch, I'm gonna go over to the tree and I'm gonna be like, I miss the trees, and I'm going to do Mask of the Wild, so I'm gonna blend in with the trees. Camouflage.
Nice.
So, Sky's taking watch.
Yes.
She's first, and I think we're going to be of enough watch between her and I. Are you doing a double watch too? Because I can do a double watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
let's just
we'll
be the two
both
of us.
double watch. We'll let them sleep. You know.
Okay, so double watchers, roll me a perception check.
Dirty 20.
17 plus
Like 5
21.
riders.
21
Ooh.
21, excellent rolls.
plus 4.
with that, as you hold the watch for the night,
Was one other thing I was going to do too.
okay, go ahead.
I was going to use my lunar veil
Okay.
the entirety of the time. So
Beautiful. The night is bright across the plains and the forest. The different forest creatures and noises are abundant, and the crickets throughout the night as the dew gathers in the early part of this night. And the shift goes by unabated. Who's got next watch?
If it's a double shift.
yeah, sorry, not both of us watching simultaneously. We're both going to have 2 shifts because we only need to transfer 4 hours. That's how we were going to do it.
So you're gonna do, okay. So you'll be technically taking 2 shifts.
Exactly. Yes, because we only need to sleep for like a shift, which we can balance between the 2 of us.
Okay, roll me a perception check again.
Okay.
19.
That one is an 18. 14 plus 4.
With that, you hear this strange kind of squeaking noise, squeaking and kind of wooden rattling noise, just along the road, and you hear this occasional kind of like, and by this point you've gathered that it's the sound of some sort of cart or wagon being kind of dragged along the road. You hear just like a as it's being wheeled across the road. By this point, it's making its way from your destination, kind of back towards the way you came.
Is this the double for me or Karan? For me? Still?
Is it what? Is it the double? What do you mean? The roll?
Well, did we both roll perception on that again, or?
Yeah. So between both of you, you saw this, yes. You were hearing and seeing this.
Okay.
It doesn't appear to be.
I guess with the brighter element of the night, you can make out that these are humanoid figures pulling this cart, kind of a larger group of them, smaller in stature, kind of smaller humanoids with different little like scraps of armor, and you can see these little blades that they have as they kind of draw this cart, and kind of like slinking around and looking as they pull this cart, and occasionally you just hear them. The eye roll, Allie. So, what are you doing?
They seem very protective of it.
Can't exactly make them out. They don't seem to notice us at all, from as far as I can tell. Should we let them just be on their way, or?
Well, I mean, what any business of it is it to us, you know?
The only thing could be that they're coming from Lowell. Although they don't look like residents, I don't think. Then again, we didn't stop through there on our way to Midcove.
I mean, Karen, I'm not going to argue with you if you want to all of a sudden pillage random people, but we haven't been known for that thus far.
Oh, no, dear God, no. No, I'm saying, do we wake the party up or
Oh,
just leave it? I think we just leave it. They don't seem to have noticed us. What do you think I'm... Brian, all this time, do you really think I'm going to start acting in that type of a fashion so suddenly? I mean,
yeah,
I know
of
you tried
course.
to rub off on me quite a bit, but...
Of course not, dear. I wouldn't even randomly go pillage. There's got to be a reason for something. And besides, we'll let them sleep. They do look so precious after all.
I agree. We should probably just let them be on their way, and we'll continue until sunrise.
So this little cart, and you see a good number of the little figures. It's hard to count them the way they kind of like are shifting around as they kind of like interact with each other and like kind of like try to give each other instruction about how to move this. Like it's a smaller cart than like a carriage, but there is a cart as they kind of like draw it past you, and you actually see they pass you a little ways down the road, and then just a little bit they kind of jut off the road and take it kind of down this area off the road. Okay.
Okay.
So that is the second shift, right? So are you guys going to alternate for a different shift, or
I figure this we just have one of us rest
Yeah,
and
I'll
then switch
trance.
over.
Yeah, I'll
Mhm.
trance.
So I'll remain for this, and then she can trance, and then I'll switch, and she can take up the final 4.
Mhm.
beautiful? Okay.
At this point, you'll hear Rowan kind of murmuring in his sleep about being shocked. No, don't touch it.
It's electric.
Briar's gonna think real hard about that lightning in a bottle she's got in her backpack. She's just gonna go in her trance.
Like, I should have captured more. Damn.
Great. So, the rest of the night goes unabated, and morning approaches. You are probably just a few hours away from Lowell at this point.
All right. We probably let the group know when they wake up, what we saw with the little cart and the tiny humanoids.
That
And
they
point out
went off the main road. Yeah.
point out where we last saw them before they scuttled off out
Okay.
of sight.
Yep, perfect. Yes, probably a group of goblins or something.
They were quite small, and there were quite a few of them scampering about, so yes, perhaps. Couldn't see for sure.
We had run into a group of them, had a bit of a scuff with them about where we would set up and where they would set up, as far as their like ambushes and all that. So we've seen them running about, scurrying them off. Most of them, they don't like to go after the armed groups.
Well, speaking of which, I'm gonna Ace, do you mind? I'll take the weapons back and divvy them back out to them.
Much obliged, appreciate it.
Well,
All
I
right,
appreciate
thank you.
the
I'll
trust.
take that. Yes.
Those goblins, or what we are assuming were goblins, were coming from the direction of Lowell, so you may want to inquire when we get into town. Make sure that there was nothing they made off with. We might find ourselves coming back this way. If we're, to look for work, as we discussed. We do have to bolster our coin purse a little more.
Possibility. I mean, I know they get desperate sometimes, but it's not all par for course for them to try to attack a town directly, even if they got the numbers. But a town like Lowell, it's not very big, but it's formidable for a goblin force. It'd be a bit foolish.
Rowan's gonna take out 2 more rations and walk up to
Rowan, well, we got plenty of meat. We need to keep this before it goes bad.
Did we cook them?
Well, it's all salted,
Mm-hmm.
so it's all jerky. I'd rather say eating something other than salted meat will feel good, but can't let it go to waste.
Rowan's gonna disperse the meat then. Amongst
Right,
everybody,
everybody has
not
a-
just
Nice salted meat, hearty breakfast. I'd say by this point, with the salted meat, just like, let's mark it down. How much do we think we'd have? What would be a reasonable amount that you have eaten by this point in the journey?
How much did we find total?
50 pounds.
50 pounds.
50 pounds? I mean...
Which is probably like
Between all
30
of you?
dried. They're probably pretty low at this point.
We're
Yeah,
probably,
I'd say
sitting at
between-
like 10 pounds less now, or 15 pounds. that we
Yeah,
have
I would say
right
like
now.
2-3 pounds a person, maybe, per meal.
We'll just say 10
It would've
pounds
been-
left.
Yeah, I'd say 10 pounds probably.
Sure. Perfect. All right. Anything you would like to do before, after that, before heading towards the next leg of the journey?
Rowan
That's
will
just
probably be,
Hmm?
oh, I was gonna say Rowan will probably be talking with forget his name again. Why do I keep forgetting? his
Martison?
name?
Martison.
Martison. About him traveling up north. It's kind of seeing how things were. He's probably been up there recently than he has.
Asher will take
You're
front
gonna
and
ask him
kind of
that?
keep an eye out.
Briar
Sure,
is going to look at Ace and be like, you know, I really want to learn how to punch very hard like you. You should teach me soon. You know? Yes.
And he probably happily obliges.
Need to lift weights.
Or he'd make a statement like, "Oh no, remember when you punched that snake? I mean, you you need to teach me
Yeah.
something."
Something like that, I'm sure.
Okay, so you chat. Roll me a d20, just for old time's sake. Welcome to adventuring.
There it is.
14.
Okay. Wow. I'm halving it, so we're looking at an 8, a 6, and a 7.
Mm.
Okay.
Average.
So as you're talking with Martison about his travels, he kind of goes on about different places he's been, and he's like, and I'll be honest, I've not been too far north, like as far as the far north, like Herndine. I've heard of it, but I've never been there. The furthest I've gone almost made it to Ulstern, but I've never actually been. I've definitely been to Siroc quite a bit, but have you ever been to Berth? It's actually quite a nice, quaint little village. I've played some music there, and they don't have a whole lot in terms of taverns. I think they just have one there. I don't remember its name, unfortunately, but quite a homey little place. Siroc, though, Siroc is just filled with arts. They're known for it, so I've spent a lot of time in Siroc for sure. But yes, as far as what is it? Halsey. Never been there. I almost made a trip there, but it got cancelled because the weather just became atrocious. And he's just going on.
Rowan's probably just, with this conversation, he's gonna be like, I never left Herondine until the day I set foot on my journey to where I am now.
It's a big world out there. It's lots of
Something.
fun, lots of sights to be seen, and a bit chaotic, but what do you expect when you travel? What do you travel but for to look for that, honestly? So many stories that can be so.
A bit chaotic. You don't know the half of it.
I mean,
he kind of like
I-
stops. Is that a challenge, dear?
Rowan's gonna kind of lean over to him and is like, Bree's a bit of a handful. But you'll...
Oh, I can tell. I can tell.
Rowan's
Every
gonna
group has to have one, right?
Rowan's gonna throw a smile if Briar were to overhear that. So just kind
Oh,
kind of-
Rowan, if you only knew.
It's gonna kind of as he like jaunts beside you as you're leading the way, he kind of like motions over towards you a little bit closer and kind of like leans in. So how about her? You ever, you know?
Bree?
Yes.
No. No. Bree, no. I would say this far, she's like a sister.
Yes, that's what they all say, of course.
sister.
Right.
Well, I mean, and Rowan's gonna kind of put a hand over his heart. He's like, I have somebody at home.
Oh, but
just-
how far away is Handing? Come on, and how long have you been traveling? You've been going at least a few months if you're traveling from Handing. I mean, come on. You've
2 years.
thought about it at least, right? Come on.
Asher's gonna be like kind of walking because I'm assuming he'd probably take lead today, and he's just gonna start laughing when he says that. Overhears
says what?
this.
Well,
Overhears
roll perception.
them,
He is
like-
trying to be a little bit subtle with saying this. Roll. Do it, Rowan. Punch him.
15.
15.
It's kind of
You get the gist of what they're talking about, but you can't quite pick up exactly specifics. But you see the kind of the mannerisms as he's like.
Rod's gonna kind of like do a shifty eye over his shoulder to make sure Bree isn't listening, and he's gonna be yeah, no, not with Bree, no. My dad never said to mix business with personal life, so
Right,
know,
so this is
we're kind of a
strictly
party.
business.
well, we're family. That's kind of weird.
I'm in the business of pleasure, so that philosophy makes absolutely no sense to me.
Oh, well, I mean, Brown's gonna kind of tap his ear. Are you full or half? Thinking half, yeah.
half, yes.
I told you I was half.
Yourself,
Well,
and he kind of like eyes you a bit. You're not
Yeah.
human, are you?
no, I'm half elf.
Interesting.
Huh.
And he kind of like flips his ears. You're locked out, I suppose. You can blend in.
Yeah, a bit, but where I'm from, people still knew what I was. But, I mean, I don't know if she'd be open to it, but you could probably talk to her.
Oh, I will. He kind of steps away.
He's just
and,
gonna
like, has
kinda-
more jaunt in his style.
He's gonna kind of put his, he's gonna do like a thumbs up and just kind of, Rowan's just gonna keep walking.
Sky is losing.
Accidental wingman, yikes.
You can try. Thanks, Rowan. That is the
Certainly
opposite
try
of
to
punching.
play with
That is
fire.
the opposite of punching him.
Roll a D100 there, mister.
Oh! Very interesting.
Briar uses sacred flame.
I'll loan it to her. That's fine.
Oh.
I was gonna say, like, I know you made the insight check to try to pick up what they were saying. Is my passive, or would I have to make a roll to pick up what they were saying myself?
I'd say for this, go ahead and roll a roll.
Roll a roll of rolls. That is an
So, yeah.
18.
When he jaunts back, I'll go up to Rowan and be like, "Well, I hope you did not just throw him in the fire." Kind of under my breath.
Well, I think it'd be funny. To,
It's a 24.
He'll learn.
With the 24,
Either,
you definitely got a better gist of the conversation.
Is as Martison is leaving Rowan to go talk to Briar, is he gonna pass?
He's
Is he
not
gonna
going
pass
to
it around?
talk to Briar. He just said, "Oh, I will," and he kind of like jaunted to the side, like he lost that proximity
okay.
and was just like walking beside him now.
I'll still try to catch him
Okay.
and give a heads up of be a little more leery when you approach the other one with your conversations.
Other one, what?
I'll look over to Briar.
Oh, I'm
Oh.
assuming it's like
Rowan's a little more accepting of other people's opinions.
Right. Well, fortunately for me, I do not care about people's opinions. They either like me or they don't.
Oh,
Guess what it
no,
is?
I completely understand. I just care about your physical well-being. And I'll tap him on the shoulder.
That's dangerous. So much more exciting now. Thanks for that information. She's choosing her insults.
and when he's kind of steps away, he's gonna kind of Rowan's gonna kind of go, "Sorry, Bree," and just kind of walk a little bit more in step with Asher, like kind of getting to the front, like.
Everyone slowly starts to give distance between the two of them.
As you're
Yeah,
giving
pretty
them
much.
distance, he kind of changes pace, kind of methodically, and it's is now in step with Briar, and you're muted, by the way.
I know, so you can hear the screaming.
As he's kind of walking, and he's not like looking, but he kind of walking beside, and he's changed pace and now kind of like side by side as you walk, and he kind of, "Oh, how's the journey so far?"
Bree's just gonna put her hands on her head and just like go look at him up and down. Like, it's going better for most people.
It's definitely going better for me. My lot has changed dramatically since meeting you lot. I just want to say I'm truly thankful for all that you've done. You are lovely people.
Well, I thank you. You're quite lovely yourself. Thank you for not trying to kill us while others were sleeping. It would be a horrible thing if you had accidentally tripped in a fire, or if your blade had accidentally maybe made its way into your own chest. Yes, that would have been much a shame.
Oh, yes, yes, absolutely. I hate when that happens. Terrible. Terribly unfortunate.
But I must say, your clothes are much better than the ones we had fashioned, even though the snakeskin was pretty special, and I'm a little ashamed that you did not even bother to keep it. It was really a gift, and you should keep gifts from people.
Oh, you mean this? And he pulls out the snakeskin. I kept that. I have plans for this. The buckskin. Sorry, I'm not that creative. I'm not sure what I would do with that. The snakeskin, that's impressive. Where did you come upon this, to be honest?
So we went to an island, and there was this big snake, and you see the big guy with the big fist? Well, it had him wrapped around his arms, and I went up to the snake, and I ripped off its head, and I spat in its mouth, and threw it into the jungle, and very vicious.
How close is
You know,
Corinne?
everything that... Roll a deception check, actually.
How close is Karan to Rowan? Wait, no. First, can Rowan hear this conversation?
You guys have given them enough
Please be good
distance.
to me.
Go ahead and roll
Please
a
be good to
perception
me.
if you want to try.
Please be good to me. This is funny. Be good to me.
This is funny. Be good.
The dice are good to me. Probably. I don't know.
Perception? I rolled a
You're rolling-
22.
22 on perception.
Perception is a 0, so flat roll 17.
17. Pretty good lie. perception-wise, he's not being super subtle about what he's saying. So you can hear it as far as where both of them their conversation is, but there is a good bit of distance. But you do gather what they're saying.
Who's
with
closer
the
to me? Karon or Asher? I'm assuming Asher.
Probably
right?
Asher.
you're-
and
I'm gonna
Karan
be
is
right
kind of
next
making
to
his
you.
way there.
I'm gonna lean over to Asher. That story's becoming more elaborate than before.
It's just growing and growing.
Well,
Ripped off
I
its
do
own
believe
fang
that-
and stabbed it in the eye. It just gets more and more elaborate.
I
love
once
these
they call
caught
that-
fish this big, but now
It's canon. It's canon. Every time that story gets told in a different way, it's a new canon.
I believe that
Um,
is called a snake story. You know, I killed a snake this big, but it was really this big, and then in 10 years, it swallowed the entire town.
Exactly. So with that deception, he kind of like, you know, everything everybody has said is making a lot more sense now regarding you.
Mm-hmm.
Good on you.
Mm-hmm.
So, wood elf, I presume.
Yes, and you are?
Half wood, actually. Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes, I grew up, well, briefly in Talonhold, but wasn't quite my speed. Grew up in Talonhold, but then I actually, my family moved to Belterstead. I spent a lot of time there. Again, not necessarily my speed, and I've traveled ever since.
So
Since I
what
hit
is your
adulthood.
speed?
You know, that's a great question. I'm still discovering it. It changes.
Mm.
I like to travel. I like to perform. I like to see different things that inspire me. You know, terrifying things, stories of slaying snakes, and, you know, seeing beauty. And just, you know, experiencing the world and people. You know?
Yes, I understand Caron is very beautiful. He is.
He is. He's a very
Mm.
handsome fellow. What
Yes.
What is... I mean, pardon for asking, but what is he?
Well, he is single, let me tell you.
What?
Make
I-
a run, make a
I-
perception check to see
I
if he hears this
don't-
conversation.
Yes. I don't believe that. That's... He's so wholesome.
Also, I would say he's almost as fiery as me.
You got lucky. I got it too. So
You're distracted by the conversation that Rowan's having currently.
apparently.
Almost as fiery. Yes, speaking of fire, what was the heavens? Literally, the heavens. Fire. You are a fabulous lot. Very interesting. I've seen magic in my travels, but so much in more recent time traveling with each of you.
Well, I'm sure you're going to have a lot of material to use in the future.
Yes, if I spend one more day with you guys, I imagine I'll have plenty of material, it seems. You guys seem to attract it. It's like the universe is giving you opportunity for adventure.
Mm. Mhm.
So, anyone back home?
Anyone? Just,
yes, you know, like,
just one?
well, put it that way. Any
Well, let me
back
put it.
home?
Let me put it to you like this, Martisan. You and I would get along like a house fire. So I don't think it would.
Right.
No, I'm not interested. But thank you. And she's just
What makes you think that I am?
listen here, fuckboy. Mm. don't make me magic you. You would not like it. Now, while you're still in my good
with the-
graces, and her voice is raising at this point.
I was gonna say, Rowan hears that, and he's gonna kind of like, hey, and then kind of like put his arm around. His
Yeah,
neck
Asher's
and
just
kinda-
gonna like, kind of like,
As you're
just
doing
keep
this,
throwing ahead.
well, I'm afraid
and
we
be like,
haven't
and just start
known each other
laughing.
long enough to know what I do or don't like. So maybe I do like magic. Would surprise
Well,
you.
I can say that you and I have known each other long enough to know you're not quite adequate enough for me at the current state of things.
You think she's gonna be okay?
Oh, I do believe.
And she's
she
gonna start like looking
might
at her
murder him.
hands, and she's like about to murder him.
Let me roll an insight.
Prior-
check. See how oblivious he is.
Prior, very nice
He's got
with
blinders.
her guests.
Yeah, that escalated quickly.
Where's electricity when you need it? Anyway,
And he
you
kind of,
enjoy
as
the
you
rest
kind of
of
lead
your
him
walk.
away, Rowan, he kind of like puts his arm around you and well, you weren't wrong, but
Oh, yeah.
unfortunately, that was a lot of fun. And he kind of shakes you a little bit.
Good luck with that.
Well,
I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea what to say to you. She's a bit of a pistol, if you will.
It's quite fiery indeed.
Huh.
Oh well, it looks like we are coming upon our destination. As you look out, traveling ahead, you do see just a small kind of village around the this kind of raised as you come around the bit. Saphira, it's not time for you. I love you. But coming around the corner along the right, as the you kind of come down this hill, you see kind of mountains scale off to kind of the southwest side of the village, different trails that lead from the mountains down into the village, and the village kind of branches off into three different intersections, you being on the northwestern kind of intersection. And
Well, Rowan is gonna turn to Harry. Well, and he's gonna put his hand out. You're welcome to continue with us, or you may go your way, but thank you for trusting us in this, and I hope things get better on your end.
Yeah, not sure where to go from here.
I'm sure you'll figure it out. You know,
Appreciate the hospitality and the trust you've extended to me. I suppose I'll see what I can maybe get into at Lowell. I don't have any coin, but maybe if I make a bit, we can maybe all share a drink.
Rowan's gonna pull out a silver.
Well,
Bless you.
Get you started.
if you ever need an honest day's work, go to Mid Cove and look for a boat. They might need a dock hand. I'm like, oop. If you are available for that kind of work.
Dog-hand. I just now dog-hand.
It took me a minute to pick up what you said. Oh. Yeah, look for Balin and Bolt. They
What
could
ship?
use some help, but well, I think Balin's ship is called the Grizzy, but we have our own ship too. That's we don't know what name is.
Wasn't it the Grizzy
currently.
2?
It's the Grizzy 2? Did we call it the Grizzy 2?
I think that's what it was colloquially. It was what you were calling it, but I don't know if it had an official name. It may have a different one by
Or the
We don't
chicken
know
of the
yet.
sea.
I think it was the chicken of the. Was it the chicken, of the sea?
That's right.
All right.
It's a
well,
boat
Arch-
that he. Oh, it might be registered under the name of Duskmire Bogger as well.
You find a man named Balin Hill or Bolt, they'll take care of you regardless, and tell them the
Never
Fated
been a
Five sent
seafarer,
you.
but suppose if they'll have me, make an honest work. Appreciate it.
You take care of yourself now.
This is the awkward, like, all right, goodbye, and then you both walk the same direction.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's still headed to Lowell. So, as you come up to the village, we will take the break finally. Chat. Thanks for hanging out. It's been great. We're gonna take a quick break, and that was just funny.